What time is it? All time! What time is it? All time!
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to call and ask questions, 323-870-3857. Beeb, not much going on. Not much going on in the boxing world. However, Floyd Mayweather fought yesterday on DAZN. Floyd Mayweather versus John Gotti III. Now, is this... So help me out, Beeb. This isn't John Gotti's son. This is John Gotti's grandson, I want to say. I would think his son would be a little bit older, but
I think it is. I think it's John Gotti Jr.'s son.
Okay.
Not,
so
yeah.
It would be like his
the gangster John Gotti, the big boss, is the grandfather. And then John Gotti Jr. is the father of this man. Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know my gangster lineage.
So from the streets, man. I'm up. You know me. I'm tapped into this.
From Boston.
I forgot you were juiced into the streets. All right. So this was an exhibition. John Gotti III and Floyd Mayweather. Why these two are fighting, by the way, your guess is about as good as mine.
In a rematch.
This is the second time they fought. A rematch.
In a rematch.
What exactly in that first fight was unanswered? You know, I mean,
as if the first one wasn't bad enough, he got to do it all again.
This was like straight embarrassing, man. So the rounds were 2 minutes long. The greatest ever, the greatest of all time. This is what he said. This is his words, not mine. He said he's the greatest of all time, blah, 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 is fighting exhibition fights against non-boxers. Because Gotti's not a boxer. He's an MMA guy. He's had about 6 fights. Yeah. 6 fights. MMA fights. Not even boxing.
Yeah.
2-minute rounds, Beeb. Who fights 2-minute rounds? The chicks.
Yeah.
That's right. Broads fight 2-minute rounds. There you go. Florian, thank you so much, my friend. TBE with the laughing emojis, and love your show as always. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, sir.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you want these rounds to be 3 minutes? Didn't you want them to get over as fast as possible?
No, you know what? I agree with you. I agree with you here because I think the faster, the better. The faster we get this trash off our TV, it was like the better. You know, I was watching it last night and completely fell asleep. I fell asleep about the 4th round. I was out cold.
Yeah.
I woke up, the fight was over. I didn't even look to see who won. I didn't care. It was an exhibition, so really nobody won. But like, who cares? I was like, I could care less. You know?
The sad part about it is you're watching this, and you could tell Floyd Mayweather's pulling his punches, and then on Undercard, Victor Ortiz was in an exhibition, and they were even saying,
he looked bad.
Yeah, they were even saying,
I thought he looked bad. Yeah.
Yeah, they were even saying that, these are exhibitions, so guys are pulling their punches. Like, they were breaking the 4th wall and everything, Corey Ordman.
Yeah.
And,
who are the announcers on there? One sounded like Hopkins, but I wasn't sure.
No, one was, I believe it was Ak. Was it?
Oh, jeez. Ak or Barack, one of those fools.
I think it was Barack. I think it was Barack, I think. I can't remember which one is which. I want to say it was Barack.
It was one of those 2 fools then. Okay, I don't care. I'm not even.
I apologize because I can't remember.
You know, I don't like those guys. You know,
I know. I'm not crazy about them either.
You know,
I do.
You know why? You know, I mean, I'm just saying. Listen, and whatever you do, you. All right, but I ain't never played dress up with another grown man. I never have. Around here in the Midwest, we don't do that.
You were snapping on Brian. You were snapping on Brian one week because he was saying he was going to buy me a t-shirt.
Sending you clothes. You don't send another man clothes.
You don't
if you want to send your family a shirt or something, that's different.
Yeah.
But like, you don't send another guy clothes to dress up with.
That's your pet peeve.
That's your business, man. Yeah, I
respect it. I respect it. I don't buy other dudes' clothes. I mean,
right? I mean, even your brother would be a different story, or that's a different animal. You ain't even related to this dude, and you were all over his nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, you look great in this Canelo. Oh my God, let me try this fur coat on.
Now, if people are gonna give me shit, I'll take anything. You know how I roll.
Right. Well, yeah.
I'll take stuff, but I ain't buying dudes' clothes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, this is great. Out of pocket here. Too bad you can't switch the ref and judges mid-fight in a real boxing. Okay, so yeah, that happened in case you're wondering. So the fight's going on. The ref, I guess maybe the third round or so, I think
it was the second round, I think. Second or third round.
It was one of them. It was one of them, right? Yeah. So the ref goes in and cautions Floyd about hitting behind the head. Floyd gets all kinds of shades of irritated there because, you can't question him on his event or whatever the case.
Yeah.
I was surprised this is in Mexico, by the way. That's the other thing, too. This was in Mexico, which Mexico City or something. Anyway, it was somewhere in Mexico. But look, man. So Floyd argues with the ref. Next thing I know, people are up on the aprons, like coaches and everything. Everybody's coming up on the aprons. I'm like, what is going on here? Why is the ref like disqualifying somebody or stopping this fight for a minute and saying, hey, everybody go back out?
You think it was staged? You think it was staged?
I don't know. Why would you stage that? Yeah, but you know what? Why would you stage that though? Because it's so uninteresting. It's not even interesting. The fact that, and then so the guys get up on the apron. So Floyd goes and talks to somebody and is yelling at this ref. The ref leaves. Another ref comes in. So the ref was actually replaced on Floyd's word. He was actually replaced. And all the guy did was warn him for hitting behind the head. There was no points taken away because it's an exhibition.
Yeah, I kind of think it was staged, to be honest with you, just to kind of try to spice it up, even though it didn't work. Jesus. It didn't work, but they were going to try anything to make this event like more palatable to the viewing audience, I would think.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what it was. I mean, if it was staged, it was just bad.
Yeah, it didn't hit.
Because it didn't, yeah, right. It didn't hit any marks.
Didn't hit.
You know what it reminded me of? You remember the Harlem Globetrotters?
Yeah.
When they used to play, they played the same team all the time.
Washington Generals.
Right? The Generals, right, the Generals. And the refs would go out there and they would like have tea with the refs or something like that, or do something silly with the refs or bring somebody on.
Yeah.
And the refs are like going nuts because they're trying to control these guys and they're just acting fools, and slam dunking and all that other good stuff. That's what it reminded me of. That's exactly what it reminded me of, because he's switching refs midway, but it didn't really hit. Like you said, it wasn't. What was the point of this? Like if it was staged, like what was the point? There was no. It just fell flat. It was kind of like a joke you tell that nobody laughs at. It was just flat, So after that, they switched refs and they continued to fight. It was just neither one of the guys. I mean, neither guy looked really that good. I mean, John Gotti, I didn't expect him to look good again. He's going against, a boxer. But the other thing is, John Gotti's an MMA guy. And again, the stances in MMA with boxing are completely different. When you use your hands, they're completely different than boxing. Okay. And you got to worry about takedowns and everything else like that. So I get that. So he's not going to look great. Nobody expected him to look great, but Floyd looked awful.
Yeah. And no disrespect to John Gotti, but he's an MMA fighter, but he's not like he's in the UFC.
No, he's I mean, and I don't know when his last I look he's got like one loss and 4 wins.
He's not even in the PFL.
No,
so
he's just starting. I mean, I guess, with a 5-1 record, you're just kind of getting started. Yeah. And I don't know if he still fights there or not.
Yeah, I
don't even know if he's still in it. But you're right. He's not in the PFL. He's not in the UFC or ONE FC or anything like that. No big time organization, that we can think of. I don't even think he's in.
Neither am I. So I mean, I'm not taking shots.
right. Yeah, neither one of us. Listen, I've got a pretty good idea that John Gotti could probably beat both of us up. Listen, that's not the point, know. But that being said, again, I didn't expect him to look good, but Floyd looked terrible. He looked terrible. You remember, and if you don't know, the Pacquiao exhibition just a couple of weeks ago before the Olympics,
he didn't look good either.
Those two. Yeah, those two. speaking of those, so after this whole debacle is over, right? This is the best part. They call in. The word was that Floyd, if this goes well tonight and he doesn't get banged up or anything, they want him to see him to fight Julio Cesar Chavez, senior, not junior, the 62-year-old Julio Cesar Chavez. Are you serious? Come on, man.
I don't think that'll happen.
Come on.
I think Manny Pacquiao exhibition could happen.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They at the end of the fight, they had brought Chavez in. They both had great things to say about each other.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of respect shown, which I like, obviously. A lot of respect shown to both of them. But yeah, even Floyd says, "Nah, I don't know that would be a good idea." He's a lot older. And he's 62.
Yeah.
What are you going to put him in 8 rounds? He ain't gonna go 8 rounds. And they're not.
I think he did an exhibition with Ricky Hatton. Chavez did recently.
Was he? I thought it was Eric Morales or someone along those lines.
Who was it? It could have been Eric Morales. I'm trying to think. Was it Eric Morales? Because Ricky Hatton did I think Ricky Hatton did an exhibition, I think, with Barrera. And then
something.
Remember.
Something
help
along those lines.
Help me out in the chat, guys.
Yeah, who was Chavez's last exhibition against?
Yeah, because he did an exhibition.
Jorge Arce. Arce.
Okay.
And it was one of those ones where it was an implied exhibition. You're going to see like a sparring session of 2 elderly guys, But Georgie Porter said the living legend Chavez can do whatever he wants. I agree. I don't want to see it though, and I sure don't want to see him fight Floyd. Because I don't think either one of them. It's not going to look good. It just won't. So after the fight, he was talking about fighting Pacquiao. Pacquiao was the other big one. They were talking about next. I don't want to see that either. He's got to be dead broke, right? And I think I've heard some. I don't know, but there's been rumors. I don't know where you see different things written, but nothing concrete.
Floyd's
the thing where he was stuck in Dubai. I'm talking about Floyd Mayweather here, who was stuck in Dubai. Who knows?
Floyd's always had issues with his taxes. A lot of speculation on how liquid he is. Is all of his money tied up in assets? So there's a lot.
That's the thing. I think it is. I don't know. I'd be curious to see how much his liquid is, because again, he's got these cars, a plane. Maybe I don't know what he has, but
he's gone into tax lien on multiple properties. That's public record. I can show you that stuff. Yeah, so he's definitely
he's definitely having issues.
Yeah, I don't doubt he's having issues. I don't think even in 2017, they're saying when he fought McGregor, they're saying like the majority of his purse went to pay off taxes. Like they were waiting right there for him.
Oh man!
After the fight, so
that sucks, man. Because he's not getting. It's like when you watch him. Obviously, you're not seeing the Floyd of old. You're seeing a 47-year-old guy fight, but it's just not. I don't know.
You don't see Hopkins doing stuff like this. You don't see De La Hoya doing stuff like this. People. This isn't again. Anyone can do whatever they want. George is 100% right, but
yeah, for sure.
We can do whatever we want too by giving our opinions.
Well, shit,
and there's something. This isn't something that you're gonna do if you didn't have to do it this frequently. No. Like when Muhammad Ali used to do these exhibitions for charity. He didn't even take a salary for them when he did. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean these are. This is.
He wasn't doing them when he was 47.
Warrior Way, the Japanese fighter. That was Antonio. That was not. That was
Tension.
Who was it?
Tension.
No, the Japanese fighter was so much bigger than Pacquiao. The one
that
Pacquiao
guy.
did.
That Floyd,
Yeah, and he dominated that fight. That fight wasn't even close.
Who do you think won that fight? You think did the Pacquiao win that? You think, or did the other guy won it?
No, the other guy won that for sure. It was an exhibition, no scores. But for sure,
if you would have scored that, you would have given it to the other guy.
Oh yeah,
thought it was close
by far. Yeah,
I thought it was close, but the fact is, seeing Pacquiao getting hit like that,
no movement. That's the other thing. Yeah. His movement's gone. He's shot. I mean, his movement is completely gone. And you would expect that because he's been retired for a number of years. He's older. He's been away from the ring. So I would expect that. But what I wouldn't expect is him fighting an exhibition. And the same thing with Floyd.
It's funny looking at Floyd. It's funny looking at Manny. And they got like dad bods now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not even, it's not even like even Pacquiao, with
catches up with everybody. Age catches up with everybody.
And that's the thing. But you know what? With these exhibitions, you think he's out there busting it out like he was when he was training for real? No. He may get up, maybe goes to the gym for a little bit, comes home, does whatever he wants to do. He's not taking that seriously.
Do like fucking 4 rounds on the heavy bag, 2 rounds on the speed bag. Maybe skip
right. Maybe
for 2 rounds.
Maybe
let the James Fonda workout and get the fuck out of there, bro.
Everything he didn't like to do is gone now. He just likes to hit the bag. No running. Don't worry about that.
Shadow in the mirror for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, everybody hates to get up at 5 a.m. I'm not doing that. Right. Pocket says Pac's leg reflexes are gone. Everything is gone. His completely gone.
What do you expect?
Yeah. And no, this isn't Floyd hate, man. Definitely not Floyd hate, man. Floyd hate more like truth bombing. Yeah, that's the thing. May wonder just about killed boxing, snake in the grass for sure. I mean, listen, man, it's you can't look at him and say, oh yeah, this is good Floyd. This is the way I want to remember him. That's the thing, man. So yeah.
Problem is, like you said, when you look at a guy like Floyd who's been on the top of the mountain for so long, now you look at him now, and does it hurt his legacy? No, but it's still not fun to watch. It's like, because you're looking at like when Evander Holyfield fought Vitor Belfort, and Vitor Belfort's like smacking Holyfield around. It's an exhibition, and he goes in there, balls to the walls against Evander Holyfield. Like that's not something I want to have in my memory memory banks. I don't want to see stuff like that.
You want to watch a Larry Holmes Ali fight again?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Like people for what they are.
Yeah, you want to remember, Floyd, the Pacquiao fight, or the ones before that, or the Canelo fight or something. I don't want to remember him fighting Logan Paul or something like that.
When you go see like a Led Zeppelin will do like a reunion appearance or something, and you're trying to listen to Robert Plant hit those high notes, it's not the same anymore.
Right.
Like you can't hit the notes anymore.
He doesn't have it no more. Yeah, you don't. Everybody gets old, man. You ain't got it no more. What was
except for the Beeb?
I know, right? You're like timeless. You're timeless. Timeless classic. That's you.
Right.
There you go.
Money dips, I'll tell you.
Do you remember Frankie Valli, the singer?
Yeah.
Because we're talking about age and stuff, and he had really good songs out back in the day and stuff like that. I saw him recently on a video, right? And it was on like Instagram. It was one of those, right?
Yeah.
So he's on a video, and he's like, he could barely walk out there. He's got to be like 90 years old. I don't know how old he is, but like he could barely like shuffle out there, and he gets on the mic, and man, he's like, he sounds just like he did like back in his 20s, And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is crazy. They zoomed in on it.
Lip sync.
He's not even moving his mouth.
Lip sync, yeah.
He's just sitting there like bobbing his head, and then like, it was all his old. Because I was like, man, that sounds almost too good. Like the band's in sync and everything. It sounds just like the right. Boom. Sure enough, he was lip syncing. He wasn't even lip syncing. He was just standing there while the music played. Like, come on, man.
Right. I
couldn't believe it. I was like, wow.
Because the thing is, too, like your vocal cords wear out over time.
This too. Clarissa, that's perfect. Most rockers have never had a great singing voice. That's why they sound so bad older. Vince Neil, you remember Motley Crue? Vince Neil? Yeah. Whew, man, he sounds horrible right now. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, some singers still have it. You're right. Some singers still have it.
Who are the good singers like? Let's take the guy
Billy Joel. Look, Billy Joel still got it. He can still sing a little bit.
Let's like that guy from Journey, Steve Perry used to be a really good singer.
But didn't he have he has throat cancer or something?
Yeah, he can't sing anymore.
But the Philippine, they got like a Filipino dude to replace him. And he said,
I'm going back and I'm just looking at the rock singers that really had good voices. Like I put him, he had a good voice. You know who else had a really good voice? Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury is awesome.
He had a beautiful voice.
Oh, he was great, man.
If
you could see like one person in concert, that would probably be one of the guys I would see.
You could argue for rock singers, Freddie Mercury's at least in the top five.
Top five. Easy top five. Easy
just
top five.
Rock singers I'm talking about.
Yeah, easy top five.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could even be in the easy top five on singers in general.
Shame the whole R. Kelly. Shame the whole R. Kelly situation, but that guy
was a good singer. That guy
had
sing.
a really good voice.
Like him or not, and yeah, hey, whatever, man. That guy could sing.
I have like mixed emotions when I hear an R. Kelly song because I kind of want to turn it off, but I can't because it's
a good song. Yeah, he's good, man. The guy's good.
Voice.
There you go. All right, so let's talk about the undercard here. Yes, there was an undercard to that madness. Who was it? Victor Ortiz? Was it Victor Ortiz?
Victor Ortiz, yeah.
I don't even know who he fought.
Yeah,
but that fight was boring too, and Ortiz looked awful. And if Ortiz is thinking about coming back, don't.
I don't think
watch that fight over and over again. He was out of shape.
He's 37. He's 37.
Yeah, get out of here. Just go. This is a young man's sport, man.
You're right.
It's a young man's game. It is. Yeah. Curmel Moton versus Victor Vasquez. Curmel Moton, this is interesting, man. You saw this fight as well. Curmel Moton won this fight in about 55 seconds.
Yeah.
The finish came in the first round with a left-right combo. When Vasquez was hit with that left hand, he was out.
It was out
cold on his feet. The right hand that Moton hit him with, bam, man, he was out. That guy was seeing stars for like a week, man. I'm telling you what, that guy definitely, to me, looks like a solid prospect.
Yeah. Yeah. When you got a guy that's that sharp of a puncher and that fluid, just that accurate, and again, we know that the competition is what the competition is, but when you're doing what you're supposed to, 6
fights, so let's got to cut him some slack here.
Yeah, but when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing at this level,
that's it.
Then that's you can't.
That's
complain.
it, because he's fighting Victor Vasquez. Georgie says, "Who's Victor Vasquez?" Yeah. We were all asking the same questions, but it's a showcase fight, and the guy's only got 5 fights, so we got to give him some grace here. He did exactly what he was supposed to do in there and got rid of that guy like that. He looks solid, and he's fighting for TMT right now, isn't he, with Schaefer and Floyd? Yeah. That's going to be interesting, man. They got rid of Ellerby. Yeah, they got rid of Ellerby, and a lot of people were complaining that they're not getting fights with TMT. So hopefully Curmel doesn't fall into that. Hopefully he can get out of there and
see what Schaefer can bring to the table over there, man.
Yeah. Pugilism says come out to Norfolk on 11/8. That's when Keyshawn Davis, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Keyshawn Davis is going to be fighting in Norfolk. So there you go. Stop. He probably fought a nobody. Guys, he's got 5 fights. 5 fights. Cut him some slack, man.
What do I always say? Everybody fights nobody till they fight somebody.
5. He got 5 fights, bro.
Right.
Come on, man. Cut him some slack. He's a new dude, man. He's a new dude. All right. And earlier in the week, I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday, one of them, Pro Box TV had a fight, Jarrett Hurd versus Jason Rosario. Listen, B, this fight, I didn't watch it. It just is. But this fight would have been great a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
This fight would have been a great fight a couple of years ago.
At 154, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what they were doing. I don't even know what, as far as like, whatchamacallit, lost my train of thought here.
Where these guys been for the last 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Joe Drake.
All right. So yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, where have they been all this time?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a great fight. The fight ended in a draw. It wasn't a great fight. And it's just like, man.
You have to ask yourself, either one of these guys is going to be a player at 160 at this stage. And
right.
The answer is probably no.
Right. I agree. But
everyone needs to make a living. We don't. We don't
I
fault
get it.
people for trying to pay the bills, and that's what these two gentlemen tried to do.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. What are you going to do? What can you do? All right, and that was it for this weekend. That's it for this weekend. Beeb, does next weekend get any better? Let's go check it out.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? All right, let's see here.
We have to wait for the big Canelo fight.
I know.
On the 14th.
August 31st, California on DAZN. Diego Pacheco versus Macha Suleski. 12 rounds, super middleweight.
All right. It's decent. It's not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
So we're still going to be waiting, Beeb? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's why people have canceled their DAZN subscription. Most of them I know.
You know what? If for DAZN to charge what they charge,
and if they're going to charge you $50 for an exhibition,
for them to charge what they charge, it blows my mind.
Think about this.
Blows my mind.
Robbie's telling me that Tyson Jake Paul fight is free on Netflix, but yet you got to pay $50 to see Mayweather versus John Gotti Jr., John Gotti III.
Yeah, I mean, go figure that one out.
Something just doesn't add up there.
Right. I don't understand. I don't get it. Arturo Papaca versus Jesse Archega Valdez, 10 rounds, junior featherweights. That's the zone. This is what you're paying, what, $30 a month for? $20-$30 a month? Give me a break, man. Yeah, whatever. That's got to be what, a Golden Boy card?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. And then September 3rd, later on, that's going to be on a Tuesday, Neo Inoue versus TJ Doheny, 12 rounds for Inoue's undisputed junior featherweight title. Then on the 7th, yeah, that's on ESPN Plus. On the 7th, we have another dead weekend. Lanny Daniels versus Bellotti for women. It's a women's chick fight. September 7th in New Zealand. No TV on it. And then the Canelo fight, of course, is a week after. So there you go. So if you were hoping just a little bit for a break and maybe we get a good fight in there, it's not. We don't have a good fight.
Don't have it.
I don't get it, Beeb. Why?
Don't have it.
It's dog days of summer. Not even till like mid.
Well, and the crazy thing is, we talk about this all the time, is we'll get a weekend when we're just overloaded.
Right.
And we'll get these dead weekends. Well, so why not just spread out? I guess there's more to it than what we think. It's hard getting dates, but yeah, it's just weird how the boxing world works sometimes with this schedule.
Yeah, it is. It really is, man. So I don't get it, man. I don't get it. There's nothing going on until September, mid-September. And then it really picks up because you got September, then you got November, and then November's some pretty good fights.
Yeah, September, October.
Yeah.
December's a good month too, yeah.
Yeah, so we got some pretty good ones going on here.
We're gonna close out the year strong, so that's not bad.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. Let's see here. News and rumors. Not a whole lot going on here, but Shane Mosley Jr. leaves Golden Boy. Beeb, what do you make of this now? Because I know that Shane Mosley Sr. and Oscar De La Hoya kind of founded Golden Boy, or at least, they were kind of the first two in there with Bernard Hopkins. But Shane Mosley left. I believe he left a long time ago. And now Shane Mosley Jr. Munguia left. Does that surprise you that they let him go?
It really does.
He was all they had.
Yeah.
I mean, he was all they had. Who else do they have?
Let me ask you this. Because during that press conference with Canelo, he was listening to Canelo throw a lot of shade at De La Hoya. And he was saying, make sure you looked over to Munguia and said, make sure you get paid. Make sure this guy pays you. And I'm wondering, again, maybe I'm just reaching here, but I'm wondering if Canelo's words had any impact on Jaime Munguia's decision to leave Golden Boy. If you go back and watch that promotion, the build-up, and you look at that press conference, I think the week of the fight, and Canelo just eviscerated De La Hoya so much to the point where De La Hoya was even considering taking legal action against Canelo for defamation.
Yeah.
That's how bad the roasting was.
Well, have you seen on social media, Oscar calling out Canelo, saying that he could beat Canelo and this and that? I'm telling you what, I want to see it. I want to see
do.
it.
You
I want
sadistic
it.
fuck.
That's
You want to see De La Hoya get his comeuppance. I know.
Let me tell you what, that is one fight. I don't really, the crazy exhibition fights are a little bit different.
You don't even want that to be an exhibition. You want that to be a real one.
I want it to be a real one.
I
want it to be a real one. I want him to come out. De La Hoya, he's over there dancing on a stripper pole in his latest Instagrams with one of his chicks or whatever. He's dancing with a thong and a stripper pole. Bro? He's messed up, man. Coke does that to you.
He's emasculated himself. What happened to?
He told Shannon Sharp. He was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and the only part I caught was he told Shannon Sharp that, well, because they were talking about those photos where he dressed up in women's clothes and stuff like that. He was like, well, I think that just about everybody, he was like, I think everybody wanted to, if you're a guy, you've definitely wanted to dress up in women's clothes at one point. And Shannon was like, I don't know about all of us, Oscar. He was like,
that's nuts.
Who does that?
I don't know with this fetish.
Have you ever tried on women's clothes and paraded
No.
around? I've never done that. Like, I just saying.
Think Robbie told me once he tried on a bra, but other than that,
for sure. Yeah, we've got
dabbled.
Robbie's women's clothes.
Yeah, Robbie's dabbled in it a little bit.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
But not me, man. That's not my speed.
That's not your speed. That's one no I would pay for, because as much crap as he talks about Canelo, like, he got him that big deal. He likes to say he got him that big deal, but you didn't get him a big deal. You lied about the deal. You completely lied about the deal. That's why he was able to get out of the contract. Because you're a liar.
You did bad business, bro. You did not negotiate in good faith with your fighter.
Right.
And again, this is what I always say. Before I ever criticize somebody, I put myself in their shoes in that particular situation. And I'm saying to myself, if I'm Canelo Alvarez and that plays out the way it played out, I'm not liking that either. I'm going to feel betrayed. I'm going to feel disrespected. I'm going to be like, I have a management team. I have lawyers, and you're making statements and confirming things without even checking with me first, without even running them by me. The level of I don't even know what word to use to describe it, but the level of disrespect that you have for Canelo in doing something like that it's like on another level, really.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
You don't do that. You don't say so, make a deal on someone's behalf without even telling them about it first.
Right.
You don't do that.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I really don't. Really don't. But what do you make of Shane Mosley moving out of there?
Shane Mosley's a good fighter, but
he's like 30 now, isn't he? He's like 30 something.
Yeah. Again, he's like, I hate to categorize fighters like this, but he's kind of like Gabe Rosado level, a really good fighter, but just not good enough maybe to become a champion. If all the stars do line up right for him, could he become a champion in a weaker division? It's not impossible. But it's a hard out for a guy like that.
Right. Right.
It's a hard out for a guy like that. Does he beat a Janibek? I don't think so. Right? No. Does he beat a guy like Shiraz?
I don't think he beats anybody in that top 5, top 10, maybe even.
Can he beat a Chris Eubank Jr.?
No.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't pick him against Chris Eubank Jr.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Yeah. So
but I like him. I like him. I think he's a solid fighter. I mean, he comes to fight. He always makes a good account of himself.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if he has that championship quality like his dad did.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he does. I mean, I really don't.
Was it a mutual split? Was there an offer put on the table? He didn't like it. Who knows? All we know is he just walked away. All we know is the deal is over, right? Yeah. But he was with them for a while. So
Mars Boxeo says Ali Walsh versus Mosley. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I
would pick Mosley in that one, but
I would pick Mosley in it because Ali Walsh is a little bit too green for him, I think.
Yeah.
I just think he's a little bit too green. So Shakur Stevenson, $3 million a fight. He turned down a Top Rank. I don't know what his new deal is, but he did sign with Matchroom. I don't know what his new deal is as far as how many millions a fight.
We don't even know how many fights it's for. Is it going to be similar to the Canelo deal, where it was a fight? Where it was a fight to fight? Is this a 1-fight deal? Is this a 3-fight deal? Is this a fight to fight?
Yeah, at least I would think. I just guessing. I don't know. I didn't see the I don't know. I would guess it's probably a 2 to 3 fight deal.
Yeah,
because he's fighting Joe Cordina first.
Yeah,
not exactly a whirlwind. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I don't like it that much, to be honest with you.
I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah.
I think it's somebody in the chat says, why? Diggy says it's a 2-fight deal. So he had read it's a 2-fight deal. That makes the most sense.
Okay.
But yeah, so Joe Cordina, it's not a great fight. It's not a great fight for him. It's a good entry fight, I guess. But before he steps up and fights somebody big. But yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Is that Zepeda fight on the horizon though? Because I mean, Eddie's with its.
It would have to be, right?
I hope that.
It would have to be.
Hope that fight happens.
Yeah, it would have to be because with the zone and everything, the Sheik's there. He can get those fights to happen. That's a big fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's probably a pretty.
I think Turkey Al-Sheikh wants that fight, like you said, and he's part of the whole ecosystem over there too. So
yeah, I agree.
See how that plays out. Hopefully, with his influence, he can convince Golden Boy and Zepeda to take that Shakur fight. Whereas before they didn't want it, they said. So we'll see.
That's it. All right, Ringside Robert 530. You're live.
What's up, Robert?
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good.
Wake up, Robert. I mean, what's going on here? What are you doing?
What were you sleeping?
I kept having to call back.
You called back once?
I kept having to call back in because Blog Talk was going up. So anyway, I didn't pay attention to anything that happened last night. I didn't care for it, so I didn't.
What Mrs. Herrick said.
Did you pay for that fight, Robert?
Mrs. Herrick said that you were nagging her, begging her for the credit card number so you could order it. She told me, man. I got the text like, Beeb, can you talk to this kid?
Got receipts.
Tell him to stop begging me for this credit card number because I don't want to buy this trash fight. But you made her. You made her.
I have my own card.
You twisted her
I have
arm.
my own card number. So
don't lie. You share the debit card.
Don't worry about it. Nope. Thank God next Saturday we have some fights on that people can actually watch. Because yesterday didn't count.
There you go. Did you
Rob, you sound like you're on Quaaludes today.
I know. You're very low energy today, man.
You're usually fired up. What happened, man?
Yeah.
No, I'm fine.
Break up with your girlfriend or something? What's going on?
I'm fine.
You got girl problems?
You got girl problems? You can talk to me.
I know what those are like.
Let
me tell you what.
Call me after the show if you want.
Yeah, I know what those. We all know what those are like, man.
I have no problem talking to you about it if you have problems.
I don't have one, so
whole problems. That's what Beep says. That's what Beep says to me. Easily having whole problems.
Yeah,
right. You can't make them all happy. I know it's a challenge.
Right. That's it.
You can't make them all happy. When you have a stable, happy. When you have a stable like people like you and myself, Robert, you have a stable. You can't make them all
stable
happy.
of hoes.
Yeah. As far as the Shakur Stevenson thing, I am not happy with him fighting Joe Cordina. Why did Joe Cordina get rewarded with a Stevenson fight after he lost his last title defense? I mean, something doesn't seem right with that picture. And the guy that beat Cordina is fighting Josh Warrington. I don't know why the loser in this case actually gets to fight somebody, better, because Stevenson's probably going to do what he normally does in his fight. He'll probably win this fight walking away. And I want to see the competition step up. I want to see that Zepeda fight. Zepeda may not win, but I still want to see it. I'm tired of Robert Stevenson.
Who do you pick in that fight if it happens? Zepeda versus Shakur.
Zepeda. Well, I like Zepeda, but I don't know. I don't know how good he is defensively because he's so offensively minded. But with his volume punching and with the way he constantly goes, I don't know if Stevenson will be able to deal with that. That's why it's going to be so intriguing to see, because Stevenson has never been in the ring with anybody that throws punches like Zepeda does.
Son, and Shakur is going to walk Zepeda. It's not a close fight. It's not going to be a close fight. Let me tell you what, 9-3. 9-2. You what?
Zepeda in that.
No, I think it's I think it's going to be better than that, Eric. I think it's going to be better than that.
I got a pie bet. Okay. Both you dudes. Well, I'm telling you right now, if that fight happens, Shakur dog walks him. It's not even close, son. It's not even close.
It is a big, fast, strong dude. Volume, pressure.
Trust me, it's not even close. Shakur is too technical for Zepeda and 99% of everybody else out there. He's too technical. Doesn't get hit. The guy does not get hit. Guys.
He get hit against Zepeda when he gets that hornet's nest coming at him.
Doesn't get hit.
Yeah, he will with all those punches.
Let me tell you something. There's not going to be a lot of punches. I'm going to tell you why, because good defense stops all that. Good defense stops all of that. Look at Hopkins. Look at Hopkins, the way he used to make fighters fight his fight, because good defense stops all that every time.
This will be an interesting one.
The chat lights up. I've got Zepeda.
I think it's going to be tougher than what you think. I think Stevenson might win, but I think
now look at him now. Look at him now. Stevenson might win. Now all of a sudden he might win.
I mean, Robert, don't let this guy. Don't let this guy. Don't let this guy.
You're making the right choice,
Robert.
You're making the right choice.
Guy bully you.
I hear you.
This guy loses the rent money on gambling, man.
Well, speaking of fighters, I mentioned it a second ago. What do you think about Diego Pacheco? I don't know who he's fighting next week, but do you think he's got a future at 168?
I don't know, man. I don't think so. I think he's good, but I don't know if he's next level good, to be honest with you. There's nothing that kind of stands out to me about him.
I would agree, Joe, but that's why I asked the question.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Kind of reminds me he's like a poor man's Jaime Munguia.
There you go. All right, Robert. Go ahead.
Fights, how good, one more thing before I get out of here. How good is the opponent for Inoue on the third? Is it worth staying up for?
Oh, that's right, because you're going to have it at like 4:00 in the morning. No.
What do you mean worth staying up for? You just wake up.
What are you just not going to go to bed?
I mean, go to bed, set the alarm.
Yeah.
It ain't like you got other things to do during the day.
Just watch it after the fact.
You can sleep during the day after the fight.
What's the matter with you?
That's payday. No, I can't. I got to pay bills.
What do you mean you got to pay bills? It's payday. What do you have a day that you pay bills?
I get paid on the third of every month. That's the day I pay
automatic deduction out of the account.
What century are you in? What are you doing?
Anyway,
didn't I set up direct debit on all those bills for you a couple weeks ago?
I have some of my stuff direct. I have some of my stuff direct debit, but not everything.
None of it direct.
But no, seriously, is that opponent worth watching? I mean, because Monster blows through.
No. It wasn't like his last one was worth it. TJ Dohenny's tough, but he's not going to beat Inoue.
Robert, you have ESPN Plus. You can always go back and watch it after.
Just go back and watch it. I wouldn't even stay up for it. Just go back and watch it. I mean, me and Bieber are going to watch it because we get up early.
That's what I wanted to know.
That's how we roll.
I'll be up anyway, so it won't matter to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'll already be up.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All
right, Robert, we're going to put you back on hold.
I get lost.
What did you say? Get lost?
Guy's like a cankersaur sometimes.
What's the matter with you? New York, 917. You're live.
What's going on, guys? This is Rafa from New York.
Raphael.
Rafi.
What's up, baby?
Yeah, so just wanted to touch base on the Shane Mosley Jr. thing. Mosley Senior has been talking a lot, very bad about Oscar and the company recently, prior to the Canelo Mejia fight and all of this. And he mentioned that he's saying that he's probably taking it out on his son because Shane kind of left the company early and stuff, and he hasn't given Junior a title shot or has promoted him in a bad way. So I guess that has to do a lot on why they left the company. I don't think it had anything to do with the Munguia situation. And as far as I'm concerned, Munguia is co-promoted by Sanford. So, at the end of the day, I don't think he has a lot of flexibility on who promotes him or not. So that's kind of like a different story. But I just had a question for you guys. How do you guys feel about this pay-per-view with Canelo and Berlanga being $89.99?
Sucks. It's not worth it. I don't know why you would pay it. Especially, I tell you what, the UFC's got a fairly decent card. I'd rather pay for that one before I pay for the Berlanga card.
Most people will watch that Canelo fight.
$90,
but they're not going to pay for it.
No, absolutely. I wouldn't even recommend you pay for it.
There's people literally on Twitter screenshotting their Fire Stick, telling everybody they're not buying it.
That's kind of dumb, but yeah.
So question for you guys: over or under 350,000? What do you guys say?
Under. Way under.
I think those should be the Vegas odds as opposed to the actual fight.
Right.
I'm not even interested, but that's my call, guys.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
That's why these people on Twitter, they don't use their real names, Eric.
It's the thing, man. Like I tell you,
they use their real names, so they go out and they tell you what they're gonna do.
$90 for that fight. $90. Meanwhile, the UFC's got the Spear Show right down the street because they're fighting at MGM. They've got it right. Probably $70.
$70, right?
And it's a fight night, but I think it is pay-per-view. But it is a fight night, so we'll see.
How many pay-per-views is that? Do you think?
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. JPPV. Is it a pay-per-view? 306 Riyadh season. Yeah, Mally did. Yeah, it's a UFC. It's a UFC 306. So yeah, it's probably about $60, 60
$70. How many pay-per-view buys you think that does? 100?
No, I think it does a fair amount more. It'll be more than Canelo's fight, put it that way.
Who's the main event?
Sean O'Malley and Dershvili.
Sean O'Malley is a pretty big deal.
Sugar Sean's huge.
He's a pretty big deal. Yeah.
And it's got a lot of Mexican fighters on the undercard and everything like that. Yeah, but it's going to be in the Spear, and they say with Riyadh season is promoting it as well, and they're putting.
I'm gonna say that does about 600,000.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that might be an average pay-per-view for them. I don't think it's like,
I don't know.
Those are really good, but it's like, those are like average pay-per-views. Mars Boxeo says 450K, the Puerto Ricans will increase the buys. For Canelo, no. For $90, 90, no, man.
I don't know,
That's
man.
Too much.
I think it could do 450 because Canelo does still
under 300.
Think so?
Because that fight is not a marquee fight. The only one selling this fight right now is Berlanga. Only one. If you watch our press conferences, he's the only one selling that fight. And he's the only one, let me tell you this, he's the only one making it interesting. I'm watching Canelo, he's like, he's all mellow, and I want to see somebody come in there and talk crazy. You got to sell that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clarissa's had some awesome tweets today, man, in our chat. 300,000 people are pissed that he's not fighting David. Yeah, that's another thing. And he's not going to fight Benavidez. That fight ain't even on the table.
Paulie Malignaggi says the same exact thing about that fight that you say if Canelo was to fight David. He said David would steamroll him.
He's too big. And Canelo actually made a comment about fighting guys because he said he was like 175. He's talking about Benavidez is 175. And he thinks that's like more of his weight class than 168 is. I think he's probably right. But yeah, he's not interested in that fight. Yeah. And I don't get it. It's a money thing. I get it. When you can make as much money fighting Berlanga as you can fighting David Benavidez, who are you fighting?
Robbie just asked me, he goes, if they're charging $89 for Canelo, he's like, how much they charging for Joshua versus Dubois? That's a good question. That's a good question. I'll double check that. I'm interested to see that.
Yeah, Joshua and Dubois. Yeah, exactly.
Because that's in September, so I'm not even sure that's on the DAZN site yet. The price.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
$89. Do you remember way back in the day when Tyson fought? Who did he fight? Michael Spinks. Yeah, it was at the Trump Tower or something like that. It was like the biggest. It was a big one, man. It was when Spinks was undefeated. Tyson was undefeated. And everybody was kind of split on who was going to win. Nobody knew. That pay-per-view was like $100 at the time. And it was the only pay-per-view I remember being like $100. I was like, wow, because it was such a big fight. But now they're all creeping toward that. Yeah. $129 for pay-per-view now, and this is why people, listen, I don't advocate for it or whatever, but people are buying Fire Sticks and doing their thing and streaming, whatever. I can't blame them because I wouldn't pay for these fights either. And they're not good fights,
I'm not even sure this Joshua Dubois fight. I'm looking at DAZN right now on the schedule. I'm not even sure it's a pay-per-view for us. Wow.
Yeah. Well, Mars Boxeo said DAZN's got to start charging pay-per-views for overseas fights. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, that may not even be a pay-per-view for us.
Like I said, the one thing, I'll tell you this, the one thing that got me is a couple of weeks ago, we went over the pay-per-view. There was a pay-per-view going on. I can't even remember which one. But we were looking at the prices, and it was $80 in the US. Everywhere else was like $20 and $40. Like they gouge us here, man.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's even a pay-per-view for us. I'll have to double check. Maybe, I'm not sure.
It's crazy. The undercard for Bivol and Beterbiev is set. So the main event, obviously, Beterbiev and Bivol, which is really good. That was really good. Now, on the undercard here is Shakur Stevenson, Joe Cordina, Chris Eubank versus Camille Serzameta, Fabio Wardley versus Fraser Clark, Jai Opatai versus Jack Massey, Ben Whitaker, must-see TV versus Liam Cameron, Sky Nicholson versus Raven Chapman, and Muhammad Alakel versus Jesus Gonzalez. Beeb, that's a pay-per-view card. It's not a great pay-per-view card.
It's not great. I'm not crazy about it.
I'll tell you what they got. They got a lot of star power on it. The big fight I think everybody's looking forward to, obviously. Listen, you got Shakur Stevenson on there. You got Chris Eubank. Obviously, they're going to be in, showcase fights. You would think they're showcase fights. Jai Opatai, again, showcase fight. Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark, decent fight.
That's a good fight.
Chris Eubank, I think Chris Eubank is a stay busy fight, but he should be, it should be a good fight for him. Ben Whitaker, which I know you hate, but he's must-see TV, man. He's Nas too. You got to watch him, man. What don't you like about? Why do you like Nas?
I don't hate him.
You like Nas, but you don't like Ben Whitaker. I don't
fawn all over the guy like you do.
Well, that's different, though.
That's different.
He's Nas too. This is the second coming, baby.
Every time you get behind someone and you give them all this praise and tell, oh, this guy's gonna be this guy. You jinx people, bro. Look what you did to Big Baby Anderson.
Big Baby Anderson.
Look what you did to Devin Haney.
I forgot I was in the ring fighting. I forgot about that. I was in the ring fighting that dude for Big Baby. I forgot about it.
You put the Lord of curse on these guys, and what happens? So you're gonna put the Lord of curse on this guy. Watch him. He's gonna get knocked out one of these days.
The Lord of curse.
Because of you.
Andy Ruiz, anybody? I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
You put the curse on him too.
You put the curse on him. You don't want to pick him.
Oh, you told me you thought he was going to win, but you just don't want to say it live on air. I remember. Tried to cover for you, but I ain't covering for you no more.
Well, that's cold-blooded, man. That really is. Is Ben Whitaker okay? So we've seen Ben Whitaker fight, and he does fight a lot like Nas, right? He's got the turns, he twirls around, he dances in the ring, and everything like that.
Yep.
Has he just not fought anybody good yet?
He really hasn't, Eric. I mean,
he really hasn't, has he?
Got to tell the truth here.
You know, and yeah, man, I don't know. I like him right now, and I like what he does and everything like that. I think it just makes you nostalgic to see the real Nas. You know what I mean? And he was a one of a kind fighter. I don't believe you'll ever see that at that level. And
I'll
again,
say when Nas did it, he did it against guys like Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tom Johnson. Right.
Yeah.
Did it against guys like really good fighters, man.
Yeah. And he was good, man. He was good.
Title fight. Wayne McCullough, he did it against.
One loss took his heart, though. Marco Antonio Barrera.
He did.
He took it out of him, man. He took it out of him. It was a great fight. It was a great fight to watch, too. So overall, B, would you pay for that card? Not are you going to pay? Would you pay? Would you advise if somebody came to you and asked you, "Hey, Beeb, should I pay for this card?" What would you say?
Yeah, for the main event.
Main event, yeah, I think
for
so.
The main
too.
event alone, yeah.
The main event is good, and all the other you're going to see some good fighters on there. It's definitely for me, it's a pay-per-view.
And that first Wardley fight really, really was better. I thought it was going to be a good fight. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't think that fight exceeded my expectations. And judging by the response from most people that watched it,
yeah,
that was like a fight of the year candidate. It was a really entertaining fight. I really enjoyed watching that fight.
Yeah, it was good, man.
It had a lot of ebb and flow drama. You know, it was a good fight.
I agree. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. And you can find me on X at ringside73. And guys, just remember to hit the like button. If you guys like what we're doing, like and subscribe. It really helps us out, man. We don't even ask you for money here. We're not out, we'll take the money. Don't get me wrong. We'll take money. But listen, like and subscribe. That helps us out really the most. It really does, man. So just do that for us. All right, guys, we will catch you next week.